iPhone 12 Pro Max launched in 2020. Galaxy S23 Ultra just launched not too long ago. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at these two in a speed test. Maybe you want to upgrade from iPhone 12 Pro Max to Galaxy S23 Ultra. Let's begin with a boot up test in 3, 2, go and see which one can get there first. Now, with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, we are looking at the Apple A14 Bionic chipset. It also does have 6 gigabytes of RAM. The Galaxy S23 Ultra has the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, and we also do have 12 gigabytes of RAM. And the iPhone turns on first. Now, the iPhones have been turning on first, but this one, the S23 Ultra, was pretty close. But the S23 Ultra, to be fair, is loading up a lot more software, features and stuff like that. iOS doesn't have to boot up much at all, and the Pixel is usually faster than iPhone, so here, though, it's the iPhone to turn on faster in our boot up. So which one is faster when it comes to the biometrics? So you could take a look here pretty quick. Also, if I go like this, you'll see it comes right on. Now, the Samsung you can just look at it. You can actually bypass the lock screen. So it's actually faster in that way as well. But it also has the biometric fingerprint, which I just missed because I don't know where it's at all the time. But definitely, it's very fast as well. I also think the Samsung is a faster phone to unlock because once you know where that's at, you don't even have to look at that phone and you could just unlock that phone like that. So Samsung is faster to unlock because you can bypass lock screen, and because it has a fingerprint sensor, once you know where it's at, you literally do not need to even look at the device. Now, from a general user interface standpoint, both of them are very smooth. Apple's device does not have 120 Hertz, but because it has a smooth 60 Hertz, it's still pretty competitive, but it's not as fast as the Samsung's 120 Hertz, which definitely feels like butter this year. I'm super happy with it. It feels amazing with the 120 Hertz. So definitely, I will say, if you decide to spring and upgrade to the Galaxy S23 Ultra from your iPhone 12 Pro Max, you are going to be quite happy with the performance there. It's definitely a little faster when it comes to the general user interface, the general OS. Now, both of these are running their latest versions of the software officially, so let's get into the app test. All right, guys, so we've arrived at the application portion of this speed test. Let's see which one is quicker. We're going to go into Calendar to begin this. That was Samsung. We're going to go into Calculator next. That was, I think, Samsung again. We'll go into Clock. And Samsung looks like it has a hair quicker animation. Stopwatch. Timer. Go over here to the alarms. And we'll go ahead and see Add Alarm. Apple a little faster with that action. Let's head up out of there. And we'll go into World Clock. Let's go ahead and hit the add buttons on both. You can see that the add button did appear first on the iPhone. Let's go into weather here. You can see weather pretty much identical. Let's head up out of there and we'll go into Instagram on both phones. Samsung a hair quicker. We'll go into the profile page. Let's go open up my 12 Pro Max post that I just posted about recently. I took this picture. I think it's still a beautiful phone. Several years later, let me know what you guys think. Zooming in, pretty good. And it looks like so far that the iPhone 12 Pro Max does still have very good performance. And you didn't make a mistake. If you bought that phone in 2020, you did good. You got a great device that was built to last, because here we are nearly 3 years later and the phone can keep up with the latest Samsung. Let's go into Play Store, App Store, and you could see a little faster on the left, and that's mostly because this side was loading up this content right here, whereas this one was just loading these apps. At the same time, got to give credit where credit's due. Apple won that one out. Let's go into apps. And this one's the Samsung. Oh, you can't really compare iOS. You could hear them already. You can't compare those platforms. Says who? I bought both these phones, and I'm going to compare them because I paid cash money for both of them. I don't care if they're different platforms. I'm going to compare them. It's fun. Let's go into Twitter here. And you can see Twitter first on the right. By the way, I wasn't talking to you guys. I was talking to that hater in the comments. Let's go to profile. You can see profile page on the right. And we'll go to this post here, and you could see, look like the Apple device had it. So even in application, the iPhone 12 Pro Max holding its own. You could see that was the Samsung. We'll go into categories. Hold on. And we're going to go into things to do here. Samsung there. So I think the Samsung it just feels faster and it scrolls faster and has a smoother feel with the 120 hertz. But if you have a 12 Pro Max, you've been sticking it out. I have no complaints about that whatsoever. So let's head into Amazon shopping application and you'll see that's first on the right. Let's get up out of there. Going to Best Buy here. And Best Buy goes to the left. See, this is crazy. We'll hit products, computers and tablets. And that looked like the Samsung. Let's go into laptop section and you'll see Samsung on the right. We'll go into eBay here, Samsung. This is really nice for Samsung because Samsung, now they not only have a lot of features, but they do have quite a bit more performance than they ever had before. So you're getting the total package now. Not only are you getting the performance, but you're getting a split screen, you're getting all that stuff, good gaming performance. It's all there. I mean, but 12 Pro Max having no issues keeping up. We'll go into Asphalt 9 here on both phones and see how they do here. Looks like we have a better developed game on the left for the iPhone experience. Pretty similar on both. Both can run those easily. Let's go into Subway Surfers. And you can see Subway Surfers going to go to the left. It looked like the left popped at first. But I mean, this is by milliseconds. This don't really mean too much. We'll go into Temple Run. And you could see Temple Run. Which one's going to win this out? This is going to be the right. And you could see that's going to be Samsung. So trading a couple of blows here when it comes to the games. I'll go into Geekbench 6. You can see it looked like Apple had that. We'll go into 3D Mark. And Apple loaded that first. So yeah, some of the applications can still load faster on the iPhone versus the latest Samsung phone. However, the iPhone doesn't take full advantage of its CPU like the Samsung does with its split screen. And the Samsung did win out a lot of the initial applications. Overall, it's pretty close. If you have a 12 Pro Max, you want to upgrade to the S23 Ultra, you will feel like you have a faster, smoother phone. But some applications are not quite as fast as the iPhone. So if you don't upgrade, you're not going to be disappointed by keeping this phone until the next launch of 15 Pro or S24 Ultra or whatever comes next that you're looking for. Pretty good comparison here so far. We're going to go ahead and check out the reloads now. All right, so let's see if we get any reloads here for the iPhone 12 Pro Max. See how smooth it performs. We'll go over here to Asphalt 9, Dead Trigger, and it looks beautiful. Doing a fantastic job once again. I love this because, you know, I paid, I think $12.99 for this phone a few years ago, and I definitely got my money's worth. Look at that performance here. 3 years later in 2023, fantastic. Let's take a look at 3D Mark, Geekbench 6, Temple Run, Subway Surfers. I kind of got to pull that navigation bar because I have it hidden. So if that slows me down, it's because I got to come from underneath the chin. It's not really a slowdown. It's just I don't have the navigation bar showing right now. So I got to come from under the chin. Well, there is no chin, but you know what I mean. Down here at the bezel. We'll go into weather, clock, calculator, calendar. So snappy, fast. Probably, I think, a little faster looking than the iPhone, but both of them did pretty darn amazing here as well. So let's do a quick internet browsing test. Remember, the iPhone 12 Pro Max was an upgrade when it comes to connectivity. It did have, you know, 5G. Let's go here and hit go. However, we are doing it on Wi-Fi here. Pretty similar. Let's hit learn more here on a 14. And you'll see that was loading first on the Samsung. And you'll just, here's somewhere, an area where you'll notice the scrolling differences. Let's go ahead and go to another website now. Let's go into Samsung.com, just to be fair here. And you'll see that's on the left to the iPhone. It's funny because that loaded Samsung first, this loaded Apple first. Scrolling fast on the right, a little bit smoother but slower on the left. Not a big deal of difference in the internet either. Let's go into Geekbench 6. We'll hit run CPU benchmark and I'll be back with the final scores between these two. Final Geekbench scores are in and the Samsung has been taken down in the single core here, but wins it out in the multi-core. A lot of people, like I said in past videos, call this the Apple Bench, and that Apple iPhone is pretty darn close there with that A14 Bionic in both areas. However, how will they do when it comes to 3D Mark? We're going to go ahead and run a wildlife extreme test on both of these, and I'll be back when they are done performing this task, and we'll see how they score here in this run. And as you can see, we do have a pretty easy win for the Samsung here, 3719 versus 2196. Now we have an average frame rate of 22.3 seconds over here, an average frame rate of 13.1, so twice as fast according to this test. And then over here, we do have 88% better than all devices, and then over here, 56% better than all other devices. So the Samsung really took it down in 3D Mark, but pretty close there in Geekbench. So here is a video render. We do have a 4K at 30 clip, and we'll see which one can save this video first. Now, I'm not a premium member of this application, so we're just gonna skip this out, and we'll see which one can save this export first. Now, if you use non-premium versions, you do get watermarks, but we're just trying to see how fast they can export these videos and see how they perform. And look at that iPhone go, look at that Samsung go. To me, it looks like that bar is loading faster on the iPhone, but it's pretty close here. Let's see which one wins it out. Man, that's showing that that A series Bionic is still up there in the performance game. Really strong. Samsung doing very good for an Android device as well. And wow, Apple's gonna win it. It looks like Apple's got this. Yep. Apple's got it. They won that video export right there. And the Samsung not too far behind, but behind here. And looks like Samsung was definitely behind though on the final render. So yeah, the iPhone's still a beast in performance. I don't want to make that a fully conclusive result though. I'm just saying you've seen that it did win it out. It just goes to show the A series Bionic chip is still strong. There could be other video apps where, you know, it renders faster on the Samsung. All in all though, it was pretty close. And at the end of the day, based on the results of 3D Mark, Geekbench 6, the actual application, it looks like the iPhone 12 Pro Max easily holds its own, and the A series chip hasn't really evolved too much since this phone, because it's basically what we've seen, and stop listening to me, Siri. Basically, this is what we've seen happen on the other iPhones that versed against the S23 Ultra. But what's really impressive is the Samsung S23 Ultra has, I just dropped the phone, has all these features, telephoto cameras, you know, S Pen, blowing you away with features, and has performance to match the iPhones, which is something not all Samsungs usually would do in the past. So whichever phone is more impressive is really going to be your opinion. At the end of the day, this was a pretty close speed test. Let me know your thoughts down below. If you found it helpful, entertaining, informing, enjoying, click the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.